Good morning, champions. Listen, how you start your morning shapes how you live your life. Every sunrise is an invitation from destiny asking, are you ready to become more today than you were yesterday? You see, too many people wake up reacting to the world instead of commanding it. Today, we flip that script. Today, we declare our power before the world tries to tell us otherwise. Here are 12 things you must tell yourself every morning, not someday, not when you feel ready, but every morning until success isn't an accident, it's your new address. Every single morning you wake up is a gift, not a guarantee, and yet so many people wake up like it's an accident, dragging themselves out of bed as if they're being forced into another day. But when you realize that life is not something you are owed, but something you are blessed to receive, everything changes. The very first thing you should tell yourself when you open your eyes is simple but mighty. I'm grateful for this gift of a new day. Because gratitude is not just about being polite or feeling good. Gratitude is a multiplier. Whatever you are grateful for, you will get more of. Gratitude tunes your heart, sharpens your mind, and supercharges your actions. It's the fuel that turns ordinary days into extraordinary ones. When you start your day from a place of gratitude, you shift your energy. You tell yourself and the world that you are ready to receive. You're no longer focused on what you don't have, what went wrong yesterday, or what fears you might face tomorrow. You are centered on the opportunity of now. And when your mind is focused on opportunity, you start to recognize doors that you would otherwise miss. When you start to appreciate small victories, you show up differently. And because you show up differently, you get different results. Gratitude has a way of preparing you to win because it keeps your spirit lighter, your thinking clearer, and your relationships stronger. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine two people wake up on the same morning. One of them rolls over, grabs their phone, and immediately starts scrolling through bad news, emails they missed, social media drama. Within minutes, they're already stressed, angry, and complaining about how tired they are or how much they have to do. Their energy for the day is poisoned before they even brush their teeth. Meanwhile, another person wakes up, stretches, smiles, and says out loud, "Thank you for another day to live, to grow, to impact, to enjoy." They take 2 minutes to list 3 things they're grateful for. Maybe their family, their health, the opportunity to chase their dreams. That person's energy is different. They're calmer. They're already in a positive frame of mind. They're ready to find solutions instead of focusing on problems. And guess what? By the end of the day, one person feels like life is a burden, the other feels like life is a blessing. Same day, different mindset, different outcome. Right up in the weaver. Gratitude doesn't remove your challenges, but it does change your posture. It turns obstacles into opportunities to prove your strength. It turns delays into preparation time. It turns losses into lessons. And when you stack days like that, day after day, week after week, you start to experience what most people call luck, but what you'll know is the natural reward of a grateful heart. So when you wake up tomorrow, before you check your phone, before you worry about your bills, before you replay yesterday's frustrations, pause, take a deep breath, smile, speak it out loud if you can. I am grateful for the gift of this new day. Say it like you mean it. Feel it. Let that gratitude set the tone. Because if you can start your day thankful, I promise you, you will end it victorious. Every morning, you must remind yourself, I have purpose, and today I will walk in it. Purpose is not something only a few people have. It's not reserved for the ultra-talented, the rich, or the famous. You were created with purpose, on purpose. You are not random. You are not a mistake. You are not just here to survive your days, clock in and clock out, and hope something better happens. You are here because you carry something the world needs. Your gifts, your voice, your story, your vision, they matter, but here's the key. Purpose doesn't work unless you walk in it. It's not enough to know you have potential. You have to activate it daily. And it starts with a decision when you wake up today. I will walk in my purpose, no matter how small or big the step looks. When you live on purpose, you live differently. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions because you understand that purpose isn't about comfort, it's about calling. You stop comparing yourself to others because purpose is customized. You are assigned a race that no one else can run. The measure of your success isn't how fast someone else is going, it's how faithful you are to the lane you've been given. Walking in purpose means showing up fully where you are, using what you have, and trusting that today's obedience is building tomorrow's breakthrough. Too many people live stuck because they're waiting for some huge, dramatic sign that tells them it's time. But purpose is lived in the everyday moments, how you serve, how you speak, how you show up for yourself and for others. Let me give you a simple but powerful example. There was once a young man working at a coffee shop. Every morning, he made it a point to greet every customer by name, smile genuinely, and remember little things about them, like how they took their coffee or when they had a big meeting coming up. One day, a regular customer, a businessman, came in during a rough season. He was discouraged, thinking about shutting down his company, but that young man's simple kindness, his energy, his genuine heart, sparked something in him. The businessman left that day with renewed hope, stayed in the fight, and a few years later built a multi-million-dollar business and later credited a kid at a coffee shop for giving him a reason to keep going. Now here's the thing, that young man wasn't trying to be a hero. He wasn't rich or powerful. He was simply walking in his purpose. His purpose wasn't about the title he carried. It was about the impact he made. He chose to show up with excellence where he was planted. And that purpose created a ripple effect that changed lives. This is why you must walk in your purpose today, even when it doesn't feel glamorous, even when no one seems to notice, because purpose is never wasted. Every action, every word, every moment of showing up matters more than you know. You are influencing people, opening doors, and building your destiny, even when you can't see the full picture yet. Purpose gives you strength when life tries to discourage you. Purpose gives you clarity when distractions come. Purpose gives you resilience when the road gets hard. When you declare in the morning, I have purpose, and today I will walk in it, you are not just making a statement, you are setting the course for a life of meaning, fulfillment, and unstoppable impact. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for permission. You are already enough, already assigned, already equipped. Walk in it today because the world is waiting for what only you can deliver. Every day when you wake up, life will offer you 100 reasons to feel frustrated, distracted, or defeated. There will always be unexpected delays, unfair circumstances, and moments when things don't go your way. But the truth you must hold on to tightly is this: I control my attitude, and my attitude controls my altitude. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you have 100% control over what happens inside you. Attitude is the thermostat of your life. It sets the temperature, it influences your actions, and it determines how high you can go. A bad attitude can make a great opportunity feel like a burden. A great attitude can turn even a small, ordinary opportunity into a launch pad for something extraordinary. So many people think success is about talent, luck, or connections, and yes, those things play a part. But your attitude is what decides if you can even recognize and maximize those blessings. Talent can open a door, but a wrong attitude will close it just as fast. Opportunities are attracted to people who carry the energy of belief, hope, resilience, and gratitude. Your attitude is a magnet. It either draws people and possibilities toward you or it repels them away from you. Think about it like this. Two people can go through the exact same storm and come out with completely different results, not because one had an easier path, but because one chose a better attitude. One person can say, this is unfair, why is this happening to me, and sink deeper into frustration. The other says, this is tough, but I will grow through this, I will rise higher because of it, and starts looking for solutions, lessons, and opportunities. Life responds differently to those two mindsets. Here's a real example that captures this perfectly. There was once a salesman who worked in a highly competitive industry. Every day he faced rejections, tough clients, and unexpected obstacles. Most of his coworkers became bitter, complaining about the economy, their bosses, the customers, anything they could blame. But this man chose something different. He decided that every no was simply one step closer to a yes. He treated every interaction with positive energy. He smiled when others frowned. He stayed patient when others rushed. He encouraged himself instead of waiting for someone else to do it. Over time, not only did he start outperforming his coworkers, but customers started requesting him specifically. They didn't always remember what he said, but they remembered how he made them feel. His attitude lifted him above the crowd. Within a few years, he became the top salesperson in the region and later opened his own successful company. His success wasn't because he never faced problems. His success was because he mastered his attitude. And this is why every morning, before you pick up yesterday's worries or today's problems, you must declare it to yourself. I control my attitude, and my attitude controls my altitude. When you own your attitude, you own your future. You stop giving away your power to circumstances, to critics, or to setbacks. You understand that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. If you choose to see it that way, your mindset becomes your wings. How you think determines how you rise. Remember, champions are not those who never fall. Champions are those who refuse to stay down. They adjust their attitude, lift their eyes, square their shoulders, and keep climbing. If you want to soar higher this year, if you want to reach new levels of success, peace, and impact, start by commanding your attitude every single morning. Choose resilience over quitting. 2, vision over victimhood. Because when you do, the sky will not be your limit. It will be your starting point. Every morning, you must declare over yourself, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. Not because you see all the evidence right now, but because you are choosing to create the evidence through the power of your words and beliefs. Your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every time you speak, you are planting something in the soil of your future. What you consistently declare over your life eventually becomes the reality you live in. Too many people only speak based on what they currently see. They say, I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm confused, and then they wonder why their lives continue to produce more of the same. But the ones who shift everything are the ones who dare to speak life even when the situation looks dead. They say, I am healthy even when they feel pain. They say, I am wealthy even when their bank account says otherwise. They say, I am wise even when they are still learning and growing, because they understand that speaking it is not lying, speaking it is leading. When you affirm, I am healthy, you are telling your body, your habits, your mind, and even your spirit which direction to move in. You are not just accepting current conditions, you are commanding a higher standard. You begin to make better choices, treat yourself better, and reject anything that doesn't align with the health you claim. When you say, I am wealthy, you are positioning yourself for abundance. Wealth is not just about having money. It's about having a mindset of overflow, generosity, creativity, an opportunity. You start to spot opportunities others miss. You start to act like a steward, not a struggler. And when you affirm, I am wise, you open yourself to divine insight, smarter decisions, and better timing. Wisdom protects wealth. Wisdom promotes health. Wisdom multiplies every blessing you have. Let me give you a simple but powerful real-world example. A young woman worked at an entry-level job and lived paycheck to paycheck. Every time her friends would complain about being broke, she did something different. She would smile and say, I'm wealthy in every way. She wasn't pretending she had millions, but she was programming her mind to move toward wealth instead of staying stuck in survival mode. Because of that mindset, she started learning about investing in her spare time. She picked up books, listened to podcasts, stayed curious. Little by little, her habits changed. She stopped wasting money on distractions. She started saving and investing small amounts. A few years later, opportunities opened up for her. Promotions, business ideas, partnerships. She built multiple streams of income, paid off her debts, and eventually reached true financial freedom. Her story wasn't about overnight success. It was about daily declarations leading to daily decisions. She spoke it before she saw it, and eventually she lived it. You must understand that when you say, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise, you are aligning your entire being with the version of yourself you were created to become. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a creator of outcomes. You are not at the mercy of life. You are a co-author with it. Your words are architectural tools. They frame the house your future will live in. Build it strong. Build it intentionally. Build it with declarations of life, not death. Abundance, not lack. Wisdom, not confusion. So tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off and the world tries to rush in with noise and negativity, pause. Look in the mirror if you have to. Say it with boldness, even if your voice shakes. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. Speak it not because you see it fully yet, but because you know it's already yours. Speak it until you see it, and keep speaking it even after you do, because your future is listening. Every morning you must remind yourself, I am the solution to somebody's problem today. You were not put here by accident. You are not extra. You are not a burden on the world. You are a blessing waiting to happen. Every gift you have, every experience you've survived, every skill you've developed, all of it is a piece of the solution someone else is desperately praying for. Too often people walk through life feeling invisible, feeling small, feeling like they don't matter. But if you could see the full picture, if you could see how many lives are waiting to be touched by your words, your smile, your work, your courage, you would never doubt your significance again. Every problem in life waits for a person to solve it, and every person has the power to be that solution if they recognize the value they carry. The moment you start your day with this mindset, you change your posture. Instead of asking, what can I get today? You start asking, what can I give today? And that shift, that simple shift, is what separates people who just survive from people who truly succeed. When you wake up knowing that you are a solution, you move with intention, you walk into rooms with confidence, you look people in the eye, you listen differently, you show up differently, you stop waiting to feel qualified and start believing that what you already have is enough to make a difference right now. Let me give you a short but powerful example. There was a young man who worked in a grocery store. It wasn't a glamorous job. He stocked shelves, bagged groceries, and helped customers carry their things to their cars. Most of his coworkers treated it like just a paycheck and nothing more. But he decided to see it differently. Every morning before his shift, he told himself, I am the solution to somebody's problem today. He would find ways to brighten someone's day, help an elderly customer with heavy bags, or simply offer a kind word to someone who looked stressed. One day, so he noticed a woman shopping who looked overwhelmed. She was a single mother trying to manage a cart full of groceries while wrangling two small kids. Instead of ignoring her like most people did, he walked over, helped her find everything she needed, played with the kids to keep them calm, and carried her groceries to the car with a genuine smile. That small moment meant everything to her. She later wrote a letter to the store's management about his kindness. This story went viral locally, and that young man was recognized, promoted, and eventually offered a customer service leadership role in the company. All because he understood no job is too small when you realize you are the solution someone needs. The truth is, you don't have to be perfect to be impactful. You don't need a bigger platform, a louder voice, or a fancy title. You just need a willing heart and the belief that your presence matters. Someone needs your encouragement today. Someone needs your wisdom. Someone needs your creativity, your patience, your laughter, your leadership. When you step into your day believing you are the solution, you will naturally attract opportunities to serve. And when you serve, you grow. Every major breakthrough in life, every door that opens, often comes because you chose to be the answer before you ever ask for a reward. So tomorrow morning, as soon as your feet hit the floor, remind yourself, I am the solution to somebody's problem today. Walk into your day knowing that you are already equipped. Walk in kindness, walk in boldness, walk in the belief that today, somewhere, someone will be better because you showed up. And when you live like that, you'll find that the blessings you give always find their way back, multiplied. Every morning, you need to remind yourself, I have the power to create, not just consume. You are not here to just watch the world go by. You are not here to endlessly scroll, binge, or sit on the sidelines of life. You were born with the ability to create, to build something that lasts, to contribute something meaningful, to shape the world around you instead of being shaped by it. Consumers watch history happen. Creators write history. The moment you realize that, you were designed to make, to dream, to invent, to inspire, something inside you wakes up. You begin to understand that life is not just about taking in information, entertainment, or distractions. It's about producing something that adds value to your life and to the lives of others. When you live as a consumer, your mind becomes filled with what everyone else thinks, feels, and wants. You spend your energy reacting to someone else's ideas, someone else's movements, someone else's momentum. But when you choose to live as a creator, you shift from being reactive to being proactive. You stop living at the mercy of the latest trend, the latest headline, the latest opinion. You start building ideas, relationships, businesses, projects, art, things that will outlive the moment. Creation is the purest form of leadership. It's standing up and saying, I will not just be entertained, I will be engaged. I will not just be fed, I will feed others with what's inside of me. Think about this simple but powerful real-world example. There was a young woman who loved photography. For years, she spent her free time scrolling through Instagram, admiring the work of professional photographers. She would tell herself, maybe someday I'll get serious. She consumed so much content, but it didn't move her forward. One day, she decided to make a shift. She told herself, enough watching, I am a creator. Instead of endlessly consuming other people's pictures, she picked up her old camera and started taking photos around her neighborhood. They weren't perfect at first, but they were hers. She created consistently, a few shots every day. Over time, her skills sharpened. People started to notice. She launched a small portfolio, picked up her first clients, and within 2 years, she had built a thriving business teaching workshops, selling prints, and traveling for shoots. Her life changed not because she consumed the best content, but because she decided to create her own. This is the truth you must live by. Everything you consume was once created by someone who chose to believe they had something worth offering. Your ideas are valuable. Your voice matters. Your perspective, your solutions, your creativity, they are needed now more than ever. The world is full of people who consume and criticize. Be one of the rare few who create and contribute. Whether you're building a business, writing a song, designing a new product, mentoring others, or simply creating a better environment in your home or community, every act of creation puts more light into the world. When you step into your day with the mindset of a creator, you stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for validation. You start moving in purpose. Creation isn't about having the biggest platform or the loudest voice. It's about making something that wouldn't exist without you. Every day you have a choice: consume the day or create the day. One path leaves you drained and empty. The other fills you with energy, impact, and a legacy that lasts. So tomorrow morning, before you open your feed or check your messages, pause and declare it boldly. I have the power to create, not just consume. Step into your power. Write your story. Build your dream. Shape the future. Because the world doesn't need more spectators. It needs more creators like you. Every single morning, you must declare with conviction, I am bold enough to bet on myself. The truth is, no one else has to believe in you if you believe in you. Too often, people sit around waiting for permission, waiting for validation from friends, family, bosses, or even strangers. But the people who change their lives, who impact the world, are the ones who decide they are enough even when no one is clapping. They bet on their own potential, their own dreams, their own God-given abilities long before anyone else sees the full picture. Your future does not require a committee vote. It requires your personal commitment. If you are not willing to invest in yourself, to believe in yourself, to bet on yourself, then how can you expect anyone else to? When you bet on yourself, you take ownership of your future. You stop waiting for opportunities to knock and you start building your own door. Betting on yourself means trusting your instincts, even when the crowd doubts you. It means taking the first step without having the entire staircase mapped out. It means seeing value in your gifts when no one's offering applause yet. The people who win in life are not always the most talented, the best connected, or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who were bold enough to step forward when others hesitated. They made the decision to believe that what they carry inside of them is greater than the fear outside of them. There's a short but powerful story that illustrates this perfectly. A young man worked a steady 9-to-5 job. It was safe, predictable, and paid just enough to keep him comfortable. But deep down, he had a dream to open his own fitness coaching business. He saw how many people struggled with their health, their mindset, and their energy. He knew he could help them, yet every time he thought about stepping out, fear whispered in his ear. What if you fail? What if no one signs up? What if you lose everything? He almost gave up on his dream until one day he realized something crucial. If I don't bet on me, I'm already losing. Staying in a place where he was slowly dying inside was a bigger risk than trying and failing. So he made the bold decision to invest in a small studio, started training clients after hours, and slowly built his business brick by brick. The first year was tough. Not everyone believed in him. Some even laughed at his dream. But he stayed the course. He believed in his vision when no one else could see it. Today, he owns multiple fitness centers, leads community health programs, and inspires hundreds of people to transform their lives. All because he was bold enough to bet on himself when it would have been easier to stay small. Understand this, your dreams, your goals, your calling are not random. They were placed inside you for a reason, and they are your responsibility to pursue, protect, and build. Betting on yourself doesn't mean being reckless. It means being faithful to the gifts you've been given. It means backing your vision with action. It means trusting that even if you fall, you have everything inside you to get back up and keep going. The world doesn't give bold rewards to timid dreamers. It opens up for those who are willing to stake their claim even when the crowd stays silent. So every morning, before the doubts, the critics, or the circumstances try to steal your momentum, remind yourself with power and certainty, I am bold enough to bet on myself. Step out, even if your hands shake. Move forward, even if your voice trembles. Believe, even when the evidence isn't all there yet. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who else believed, it's about whether you were bold enough to believe when it mattered most. Every morning, you must declare with absolute certainty, I am resilient, I bend, but I don't break. Life will not always be smooth. Storms will come, obstacles will appear. There will be seasons where you are stretched, challenged, and even shaken. But understand this, resilience is not about avoiding the storm. It's about enduring it and emerging stronger because of it. You are not made of fragile material. You are crafted with strength, purpose, and the ability to recover no matter how hard life tries to push you down. Resilience means you may bend under pressure. You may feel the weight of the battle, but you refuse to snap, give up, or lose your spirit. When you embrace resilience, setbacks stop being stop signs and start becoming stepping stones. Every disappointment becomes training for your destiny. Every loss carries lessons that will serve your future victories. People who win at life aren't the ones who never faced adversity. They're the ones who refuse to stay down when life knocked them over. They made a decision, I might bend, but I will not break. And every time they got back up, they grew stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. Let me give you a powerful real-life example. There was a young woman who dreamed of becoming a lawyer. She worked hard, studied day and night, and finally took the entrance exams. She failed not once, but twice. Each time, the people around her whispered that maybe it just wasn't for her, that she should find an easier path. For a moment, the failure bent her spirit. She cried, doubted, and questioned herself. But she remembered who she was. She said to herself, I bend, but I don't break. Instead of quitting, she studied even harder, changed her strategy, and worked on her weaknesses. On her third attempt, she passed with flying colors. Today, she's not only a successful lawyer, but she also mentors others who are going through the same struggles she once faced. Her journey wasn't smooth, but it was worth it because she chose resilience over retreat. You must understand that resilience is a choice you make every single day. It's the voice inside you that says, I will keep moving forward even if it's slower than I hoped. I will keep believing even when I don't yet see the results. I will keep standing even when the winds are trying to knock me down. Your power is not in being untouched by challenges. Your true power is in being undefeated by them. You are like a strong tree planted deep into the ground. The winds can bend your branches, but they can never uproot your spirit when you are anchored in resilience. So every morning, when you face the day, remind yourself with boldness, storms don't scare me, they strengthen me. I bend, but I don't break. Walk into your day knowing that no matter what comes, you have the power to outlast it, overcome it, and use it to build an even greater version of yourself. So would you also like a short resilience affirmation to say in less than 10 seconds every morning? Every morning you must remind yourself, I am focused on what matters and I let go of what doesn't. Your energy is your greatest currency. Where you spend it determines the life you build. Too many people waste their energy worrying about things they cannot control, arguing with people who don't matter, and replaying problems that are already behind them. Focus is not just about what you pay attention to, it's also about what you refuse to give attention to. When you stay locked in on your real goals, your purpose, and your highest priorities, you move faster, think clearer, and build stronger. Letting go of distractions, doubts, and drama isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Your destiny is too important to waste your energy on every little thing that crosses your path. When you are truly focused, you stop chasing approval, you stop reacting to criticism, and you stop getting pulled into battles that don't deserve your time. You realize that peace is more powerful than proving a point. Growth is more valuable than getting the last word. Every minute you spend on something that doesn't move you forward is a minute you steal from your own greatness. It takes maturity to focus. Impulse, it takes discipline to let go. But once you master it, you become unstoppable. Your mind becomes clearer. Your steps become lighter. Your vision becomes sharper. You no longer live at the mercy of your circumstances or other people's opinions. You live anchored in your purpose. Let me give you a simple, powerful, real-life example. There was a young entrepreneur who launched a small business. In the early months, he faced heavy criticism online. Some customers complained, competitors talked down on him, and even people he thought were friends doubted him. At first, he wanted to fight back. He wanted to reply to every comment, defend himself in every conversation, and chase down every rumor. But he realized something important. Energy is precious. Spend it on progress, not on problems. Instead of fighting battles that didn't build his dream, he focused 100% on serving his customers, improving his product, and growing his brand. Within a year, his business tripled in size. The same critics who once doubted him were now asking him for advice. He didn't get there by winning every argument. He got there by focusing on what mattered and letting go of what didn't. Every day you will be tempted to spend your energy on distractions, negativity, and things that have nothing to do with your destiny. But you have to choose. Will you spend your energy building your future or defending your past? Will you pour your time into complaining about the obstacle or creating a solution? Focus is the decision you make over and over again. It's the discipline to say, I refuse to lose my peace, my energy, or my future over things that don't deserve me. So every morning, remind yourself, I am focused on what matters and I let go of what doesn't. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Put it where it counts and watch your life move forward faster than you ever imagined. Every morning, you must remind yourself, I am surrounded by opportunities and I will recognize them. Life is not scarce, it is abundant. There are doors opening all around you, sometimes wide open, sometimes just cracked enough for you to push through. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not just skill or luck, it's vision. It's the ability to see what others miss. Opportunities don't always look like golden tickets. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges, new relationships, unexpected changes, or even setbacks. But if your mind is trained to see with expectation and your heart is prepared to move with faith, you will spot chances for growth, progress, and success where others only see obstacles. Most people miss opportunities not because they aren't there, but because they aren't paying attention. They're too busy complaining, doubting, or comparing to notice what's right in front of them. You must be different. You must train your eyes to see possibilities in problems, solutions in struggles, and doors where others see walls. You must declare, I will recognize the opportunities meant for me. When you live with this mindset, life opens up in powerful ways. You become a magnet for breakthroughs, connections, and blessings because you are looking for them, expecting them, and moving toward them. Let me give you a real simple example. There was a young man who worked a low-paid job at a small grocery store. Most of his coworkers complained every day about the hours, the customers, and the management. But this young man decided he would look for opportunity instead. One afternoon, a customer asked for help carrying groceries to their car. He helped with a smile. And during this short conversation, the customer learned about his dreams of working in marketing. That customer happened to be a marketing executive for a major company. Impressed by the young man's attitude, he offered him a part-time internship that turned into a full-time career. If the young man had been distracted by negativity, he would have missed the opportunity standing right in front of him. Because he stayed positive, open, and ready, his whole life changed with one simple act of service. Opportunity rarely shouts. It whispers. It nudges. It shows up quietly, waiting to see who is ready. Every conversation, every new connection, every tough moment could be carrying the seed of your next breakthrough if you choose to see it. You have to be alert. You have to be grateful. You have to be ready to act when the moment comes. Life rewards those who are not only prepared, but who are paying attention. So every morning, before you step into your day, say it boldly. I am surrounded by opportunities and I will recognize them. Expect doors to open. Expect ideas to spark. Expect divine appointments to show up. Stay ready, stay hungry, and stay alert. Because the opportunities you recognize and the ones you act on are the ones that will change your life forever. Listeners, every morning, remind yourself, I am growing, even when it's not obvious. Progress doesn't always look loud or glamorous. Sometimes growth is happening beneath the surface where no one else can see it, where even you might not feel it. Just because the results aren't visible yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Think about a tree. Before it ever produces fruit or stretches high into the sky, its roots are digging deep into the ground, anchoring it for the storms ahead. Growth often works the same way for us. Before you see the rewards, you have to build the foundation. That means staying consistent, staying patient, and trusting that every small step forward is preparing you for something bigger, even if it doesn't feel like much right now. In today's world, it's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. You might be putting in the work, showing up every day, learning and trying, yet it feels like nothing is changing. But growth isn't always obvious because the most important changes happen on the inside first. Your mindset, your discipline, your character. Those inner changes are what make you strong enough to handle the bigger opportunities when they finally come. Roots grow deep before fruits grow wide. If you stay planted, if you keep nurturing your goals, that quiet growth will eventually break through the surface in ways you never imagined. Here's a simple but powerful example. A young writer dreamed of publishing a book. Every morning before work, she would write a few pages. Some days, the words flowed easily. Other days, it felt like she was stuck in place, doubting whether her effort would ever pay off. Months went by with no visible progress, no publisher, no audience, no recognition. Friends and family began to question if it was worth it, and even she wondered if her writing would ever amount to anything. But she reminded herself daily, I am growing even when it's not obvious. She kept writing, kept improving, and stayed committed to the process. 1 year later, she finished her manuscript and submitted it to several publishers. At first, the rejections came, but she didn't give up. Eventually, one publisher saw the potential in her work. Her book was published, and over time, it became a source of inspiration for thousands of people. What looked like slow progress in the dark was actually deep growth, preparing her for that breakthrough moment. Your journey may feel slow right now. You might not see the fruits of your hard work yet, but trust that the roots you're building are getting stronger with every effort you make. The time you spend learning, showing up, and pushing through discouragement is never wasted. Stay planted in your purpose. Keep watering your dreams with consistent action and faith. When the time is right, everything you've been growing beneath the surface will begin to flourish. So every morning, remind yourself, I am growing even when it's not obvious. Roots grow deep before fruits grow wide. Stay patient. Stay planted. Your season of visible growth is coming. Every morning, you must remind yourself, I am unstoppable because I am aligned with my assignment. When you know your assignment, the mission, calling, or purpose you were uniquely designed to fulfill, you become a force that nothing can break. Challenges that would crush other people become mere stepping stones for you. Distractions that would derail others lose their power over you. Why? Because when you're aligned with your true assignment, you are not operating by your own limited strength. You are operating with the full weight of destiny behind you. You're no longer guessing or wandering. You are walking with intention, clarity, and authority. Alignment with your assignment brings a different level of confidence. It doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. You will. It doesn't mean the path will always be easy. It won't. But it does mean that even when the pressure comes, you won't quit. Even when the doors seem closed, you'll find a way to push through. Your assignment fuels you with a sense of purpose so powerful that quitting stops feeling like an option. It's not about blind hustle. It's about knowing deep inside that what you are building, creating, and fighting for matters beyond just you. It's bigger than your feelings. It's bigger than your fear. Your assignment gives you a reason to endure and a reason to win. Here's a real simple example that proves this truth. There was a man who had a stable, well-paying corporate job. From the outside, it looked like success. But deep inside, he knew his true assignment was to mentor and empower young people who came from difficult backgrounds like he did. Leaving the security of his corporate position to pursue a mission that didn't promise instant income took courage, and it wasn't easy. He faced rejection, financial uncertainty, and moments of deep doubt, but he stayed aligned with his assignment. Every time a challenge showed up, so did a solution. Every time a door closed, another opened. Eventually, he built a thriving nonprofit organization that helped thousands of young people find their own paths to success. If he had been chasing money or comfort alone, he would have given up when it got tough. But because he was aligned with his assignment, he was unstoppable. This is what happens when you walk in purpose. Opposition becomes an indication that you're moving in the right direction, not a signal to stop. Delay becomes preparation, not denial. Struggles become the sharpening tools that prepare you for greater impact. Alignment doesn't guarantee ease, but it does guarantee endurance. It activates a deeper source of strength within you that cannot be shut down by external circumstances. So everybody, speak it boldly. I am unstoppable because I am aligned with my assignment. You're not just chasing a dream, you're fulfilling a destiny. You're not just fighting battles, you're building legacies. Keep moving forward, stay locked into your assignment. When you are aligned, you are an unstoppable force, and nothing formed against you will succeed. So let me ask you, what would happen if you reminded yourself of these 12 truths every single morning? I'll tell you what would happen. The world would have no choice but to adjust to your greatness. You were not born to be average. You were born to be exceptional. And it all starts with the words you choose to speak over your life. Speak power, speak purpose, speak prosperity, and then walk it out like the champion you are. Now go and dominate your day.